What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I got an interesting video for you. Just recently, I was just going through YouTube, going through some social media, and I found a recent interview with Grant Hill on the Dan Patrick Show. And Dan Patrick asked Grant Hill what was like his approach to the game, meaning how competitive he was, and then he wanted him to compare his competitiveness to Mike and Kobe. And I don't know if you guys watched Grant Hill when he was still healthy, coming into the league. I mean, he came in 1994 for the 1994-95 season. He was 22 years old at the time. When Michael Jordan left in 1998, Grant Hill was 25, 26 years old. He was averaging like 21 points a game. The next season, he was up to 25.8. And he was a beast. Like, he was unstoppable. He was talked about as the next Michael Jordan, somebody that could come in and fill that role. The only problem was he was on pretty bad Detroit Piston teams. So that wasn't that good for him. And then, you know, in I believe it was, 2001, he got injured. And from then on, he never got back to his old self. He still had many years left because he left the league in 2012, 2013, but he just wasn't that same guy before that injury. And his injury was like a broken ankle or something like that. He had multiple surgeries, multiple seasons affected. It was terrible because he was a great, unbelievable talent. Now, let me play that clip for you where he talks about Mike and Kobe, so you could hear what he had to say comparing his competitiveness. And he was crazy competitive. He went at people. And comparing his competitiveness to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And he also hits in a funny story about Kobe in there as well. So listen to the clip.
But could you always turn it on? Did you have that in your head that I'm going to go out and kill you once I get on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I'm a good person, a nice guy. You know, I did dap these guys up. I'm fans of theirs. And I saw Dan, but I went over and dapped you guys up.
You did.
So,
yeah.
But no, you have to. I mean, you don't get to the NBA. You don't get to that level, all-star, all-NBA, if you don't have a competitive streak. And so, if anything, I think people sometimes can mistake kindness for weakness. And so, but when we got between those lines, you know, you had to put on almost you had to become a character, you know, you had to put on a different personality. And so it allowed me to, you know, go at guys and not be nasty, you know, be a competitor, have sportsmanship, but you're out there to win and compete. And then after the game, whatever happens, happens. But, you know, I was Mr. Nice Guy, and, you know, they ran with that in the 90s. And you know, my wife would say, you're not always nice.
Yeah, yeah, but compare your on-court demeanor to Jordan and Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think for me, you got to be authentic, and you got to sort of, you know, those guys I think were assassins. You know, I remember vividly 2012. I'm in Las Vegas, and I'm a free agent my last year. I'm about to be 40 years old. And I went to the USA basketball practice, and it was a 2012 team getting ready. And the Lakers were sort of recruiting me. I ended up signing with the Clippers. But I was talking to Kobe before practice, and the intensity in his face and talking about, I'm about to go out here and kill, like he was, and I'm thinking, this is the second practice on day 2. And like it was, but he was, that was him. And so, you know, and then you look at Michael, you know, Michael brought that. Michael would manufacture things.
So now that you heard what Grant Hill had to say about Mike and Kobe, he didn't say much about Mike, but he said it was the same approach as Kobe had, and he would manufacture his things in his mind to get himself going. But the story about Kobe Bryant was pretty hilarious. And, you know, we've heard similar stories about Kobe and Mike before. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's game 1 or practice 3 or practice 4 that day. You know, it just doesn't matter for Kobe or Mike. I mean, every single practice that they had, they would go all out, challenging their teammates, challenging everybody on the court. There was no, you know, taking plays off. There was no, they didn't talk much. You know, they trash talk on occasion, and we've heard about those stories as well. But Kobe and Michael Jordan were players that whoever you ask, they will always tell you that they led by example. They came in first to practice. They left last from practice. They were there the longest. They were worked the hardest. And they would put more time than anybody else working out, practicing, doing whatever. They would lead by example. There was a story also from, I believe, Jason Williams. He mentioned the story about Kobe Bryant. It's not in this video, but he did mention that. And he said there was a game that they were supposed to, he was playing for the Chicago Bulls. He was supposed to play against the Los Angeles Lakers. He came to LA and he went to a gym to work out, and he walked in and he saw Kobe working out. Before that game, it was in the morning. So he saw Kobe working out. Kobe was like already drenched in sweat. And he would, you know, he laced his shoes up and he worked out for like an hour or whatever. And he sat down and he was just watching, and Kobe was still working out. He was still shooting, and it wasn't, he said that it wasn't like, you know, nonchalant movement or just doing whatever on the court. No, he was practicing game moves nonstop. So Jason Williams, after that, you know, they played the game. Kobe scored like 40 points against him. And then Jason Williams asked him after the game, and he said, Kobe, you know, why did you do that? Why did you work? Like, you worked before me, and you kept working until I was done, and you still worked for another 20, 30 minutes. And Kobe Bryant looked at him and he said, I did that because I want you to know that no matter how hard you work, you will never work harder than me. And that's the exact mentality of Michael, of Kobe Bryant. That's the exact mentality which is so sorely missed from the NBA today. I don't know if we have players with that kind of mentality right now. There's some players, some stars that could potentially break into that. But I don't think we have anybody like that. And the stories, I mean, it was just incredible. You know, the approach of those two guys was just incredible, unbelievable. So you saw what Grant Hill said. I loved Grant Hill when he was playing. He was great for the Detroit Pistons. He was kicking the ass of my New York Knicks when he was playing against them. I believe he had an awesome dunk on Patrick Ewing one time. He was still healthy. He had an awesome play against Scottie Pippen. He crossed him over. Maybe I'll show that to you. And he was just a great player. And it's a shame that he got hurt. The same thing for Penny Hardaway. Great player. He got hurt and his career just changed dramatically. So I hope you liked the video. Please share it, like it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and let me know what you guys think about it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one as always. Bye.